Good morning, all. Or
Hello. It's
after.
afternoon.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's I come in a couple hours late, so I'm off a couple hours. Okay, we are going to do Mr. Hugh first because he needs that interpreter,
Interpreter. Yep.
like last time.
Yep.
Pardon me. We are going to have to do him by himself for reasons, and then we'll have to pull Barry separately, so we'll be a little slow
Okay.
with that. And then I thought I saw the judge. Judge Schultz, can I speak to you?
Yes,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
We the jail need a little help. We have an in-house matter for Mr. Hugh, and seeing how we do have this interpreter, we are wondering if we could take a few minutes after you speak with him. He is going to be first up. If my person could speak to him maybe over in the breakout room through the interpreter so we could get some things accomplished with your permission.
Oh, fine.
Okay. I'll readdress that when we get that far along. Hugh and then Barry, we will need the Spanish interpreter. I just couldn't figure out a way to make it any more efficient. So
Yeah.
we'll do the two in this pod, and then I'll jump down for the female grata. So it looks like we've got one interpreter.
Yes, so this is Hanner. He's our Spanish interpreter.
Okay. Okay.
So Hanner, we're also waiting on a Burmese interpreter. Unfortunately, the way people are positioned in the jail today, the person that you're here for will be third. Feel free to, if you want to leave your own video on until we need you, that's fine. Also, feel free to turn your camera off until we need you. But it should be the third person because we have two that are right together, and the first one needs the Burmese interpreter.
Okay, I will do that, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go silent. It looks like we're still waiting on our public defender.
Yes, and our Burmese interpreter.
And right. I'll go ahead and start rounding up Mr. Hugh, and
Okay.
I think we'll all be together. Thanks. I'll be
Thank
back.
you. Good afternoon, Mr. Probst. We're still waiting on the Burmese interpreter. We did try to get a Hakachin interpreter for Mr. Hugh, but we were not able to secure one. But I believe we did secure a Burmese interpreter again.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Do you want me logging in a little bit earlier, Judge? I just was getting on right before 1, but it looks like everybody was already here. Would it benefit you that when I do the jail docket, I show up earlier?
I usually get on a couple minutes early just to make sure I don't have any technical difficulties, but
Okay.
it's not a big deal, as long as nobody's having technical difficulties.
Well, now that I figured out how to use my my camera by opening up, apparently there's a,
Yes.
yeah, apparently that's really important.
Ray, 12:45, the working people are right here every time. That would be the clerk and myself. So if you just need to dial in, you feel free, 12:45.
That sounds good. I'm glad that you said the working people, because I don't want there ever to be a presumption that I work.
I did say that. I
Yes.
know. Okay. Looks like we're moving forward, Judge.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, I'm going to put Mr. Hugh on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hu.
Mr. Hu, talk out there.
Oh, Taco.
Good afternoon.
I am sorry, we did attempt to get a Hakachin interpreter, but we were not able to secure one.
Just for the record, ma'am, Your Honor, I'm Hakachin interpreter. Sorry, I did that last time too.
Yes.
I cover both language. Sorry. Okay.
So we are going to give you some time in a breakout room to speak to your attorney.
Sejitsu kay mahodat lehe na shit ni pasia kante bero nakke dong naka kat kanto tan lai mu breakout room kan lu tan haulai.
So just as a reminder, Mr. Probst, to refresh your memory, I believe there was a motion to revoke filed resulting out of allegations from when Mr. Hu arrived at the jail to check himself in for his time that he needed to serve.
Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Hutton and I have already discussed all of that, and there was a discussion with my client as to whether he's going to stipulate or request a hearing on his motion to revoke, and then there was potentially a argument for modification of the sentence, but that's where we are.
So I'm assuming you need to talk to your client to see if he's going to accept it. Okay. So Ms. Meyer, if you could make sure you send an invite to Mr. Hu, Mr. Probst, and Daniel. I'm sorry, I don't know your last name.
Okay.
Mr. Daniel is what
Yeah.
I'll call you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Judge, it's right there on his thing. It's Daniel Burmese Interpreter is his last name.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Your
Yeah.
Honor, I'm going to step away just briefly, but I'll be right back. I do apologize.
Okay,
Just a second. Here we go.
Mr. Probst, have you had an opportunity to speak to your client?
Chen namilai pa le nan dia chan kolo mo biro nan ngai kolo mo te sin ni pa help me se.
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Oh, kan tu chan ko.
There's a couple of things that, first of all, my client would stipulate that he's in violation of his probation by entering the jail intoxicated.
Mai sabi ka kan o alung tling ko ama ni kin probation chia tak mi kha athiat bal abal se arwang chu ma ni ya kan zuri chung in ra cha kan te kan se ma jong awun khan.
There are a couple of extenuating circumstances, however, regarding disposition.
Nan in kan hal du mi ai thiam pani trong jong
I
um be
haven't done anything.
Ms. Holton, could you mute?
Oh.
please?
No, I know.
Ms. Holton, could you please mute?
I got it. I had the volume down.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Probst, I'm sorry.
B. So there are some extenuating circumstances regarding disposition, Your Honor.
Chi kau chu chu chi jong khatlom pa ke kan ngai te kan hal du ve phone.
The city and the defense have agreed to a joint recommendation for a modification of the sentence to 90 days.
Chen atlai tu quality city le chen nang ma jong kha lung tling na kan tu ko I te an tharuk lak lau ding in thathum in kin di tar ding a kan mo ni som ruk.
My client is telling me that his mother is very ill and he is fine with doing the 90 days, but would like to know if he can get out of jail to go tend to his mother and then come back and finish out his 90 days. Or if he could do it in sections as opposed to the 90 straight days.
Si pakhat hal du mi chu ti anu khidam lo cha khan atual tang mi te ni som kwa te mi kha di tar ding kha adi du kau nan in anu khadam lo cha khan anu khia anu si vaton ta in man huwa khan rakir than in khin atang hlai mi te ni som kwa ding a thong ina ding a khan ar du kau te khan si salau le adang de ka chu thakata zar khatati in khin te umadu kum ka du I te khan te se khau mo te khin jong halt phone te ka se mo na halt mi kha chin mi se.
So the other issue is that he has some contact information in his clothes from when he was booked into the jail. And he's not been able to contact any of his family because it's in his property at the jail. And he would like to be able to access that phone number that is in his clothing.
Chen pani na ka kan chon in chung kha lai kha contact holding a kan ti sa toy holding a kan phone number che tak mi kha nipon le ang kila ka kan tlai ni khan an lak di chang ka kan ma kha ma te jong kha palak du te khen jong chim phone te ka se mo.
I advised my client that he had a right to his hearing today, but he is agreeing to not have that hearing in order to stipulate to violation of his probation.
Chi nang ma jong khanol na ngai kau atu na pal ma pal lau ti nak te ya jong khan te ti le he pi tar ding a le be che nak to ding a khan na to khomi phat sinan in cho na ri chung in ra kau ite ma kha na pal kau ti khin na lung tin cha khan ma jong kha cho her ti lau ti nak se kau mo.
Mr. Hu, I believe that there is a process through paperwork that you can gain access to that phone number.
O si kau cho Mr. Hu ma kha tu chung kha la sa to ding a khan phone number na chia tak mi kha na zau du na lak du si a chun hi ka nan ma thong tlak nak ti thong in la ya khan ตัวนิ่งเตมูจ่าเตพี่อินคินนาทิลเตนาวกอลวาเจ้าดิงคันแต่คันตัวดันจุ่มเวกเอา
I would like to try to confirm that with the person that gave you the headphones.
แต่จูอตัวนักมีมีเรียนจนตัวปากขาอามาสมกับหัลกาดูเตมาค่ะเปียกทันแล้วเต
If you could take
Hold
them
on.
off, what
Hold on. I did speak with the jail and he said that they can do it if you order it.
okay.
ไปแล้วเตให้ไปแล้วเสีย
Thought there was a piece of paper that he had to fill out because I feel like we had to do that one other time and the defendant had to request access in writing.
มาค่ะจะพี่ดิ่งเดจะให้มีสองกอรัวเตมาค่ะนี่พูนตินหานะเจ้าทันดูเตนะเช็คดูมีเสียจนจะพี่ดิ่งสองให้เกาลาเตประคัดคิโม
I am not opposed to ordering that they give access to that phone number.
เสียมาคนนั้นบันเทิงเสียจนไกมันจนลักเขาดิ่งจนโนกับเปียกเขาที่จะเป็นการกดหนักลงจริงเราหนักจะเลียมแล้วเต
I just want to make sure that he actually gets the access.
จะมันเฮร์มีขจรนบงบิซาระมอพัดกันเชียตังมีขจรลักเขาเจ้าเขาจะโกลเขาจะเสวกเขาเต
Ms. Hutton, what is the city's position on the request to somehow break up the 90-day sentence?
เสียมิสเตอร์ฮัตตันข้าฮัลมีเสียมันนิสมกัวอินคินดีเตอร์นาอารองคิดเอเจสีที่คันเสีย
Your Honor, the city would oppose the request, given the nature of how Mr. Hu entered the jail, and the fact that he has been unavailable to his mother for the last, I believe, at least 2 weeks. And so I don't believe, while I understand that he may wish to see her, I do not believe that he would be particularly instrumental in her care. So I don't see why Mr. Hu would not be able to just serve his 90 days.
เสียไกมันนี่ก็รอนี่โจอนุจงดำเราจะสกัดนันอินเต้โจอตุจับนี่จงขาอนุสีเราจงขาเกาจังเกาจับนี่จงจังเกาโจอตังเลยมีทันทีเละเชลมันติกลามุทัดทมินดิดิงสกัดนี่สมกว่าขาตุจับนี่นี่เลยลีนี่จังเกาตังเลยมีสมนี่พอลขจรเขาเราหนักอารมณ์จุกมหูเวลา
Your Honor, in response to that, my client indicates that she's not doing well, and it would give him the opportunity to potentially spend his last, her last moments with him so that he could say goodbye and do that, as well as potentially assist in getting her to medical appointments or any other type of assistance she would need.
เซนั่นเองกำลังไล่นิคินมาชิมนิโจอนุขาดำเลียมแล้วจนที่ลันตาจงสิเขาเมนติกะขันมูตุทันนิทุมชงะขันมาขัดติเชลจากขันสิเขาจนอินาลอยตาดอกินนูเสียขันนิตรมตีมกขจันบลากินบะบะบมตาบะต้นตาขาดูมีเฮร์มีซีแต่ขันชินิชิมเปียกทันมีเซ
I show that he went into custody February 16th.
เสียเนี่ยเฟบรุยนี่เลยรกนิคาอันนั้นทันมีเสีย
No, that can't be right.
อ๋อสลับ
No, that's not right. Give me 1 second.
กันเปิดราชกัดเต
Your Honor, he had a jail commitment starting 2/16 to 2/21, so he did go in on
That
2/16.
is when he went in? Okay. Why
Yes,
did
Your
I
Honor.
think it was earlier? I thought it was the weekend before that for some reason.
อ๋อสิเกานี่เลยรกนี่คือสิเกานะรักค่ะ
But yeah, I double checked and that is what it says.
เฟบรุยนี่กุลเลยรกนี่สิเกาโมนะรักทงอันนั้นรักรามิค่ะ
So here's kind of the position that I'm in.
Se atu he tabang tok dir mun kan phan kawi.
I certainly do not want to prevent anyone from having an opportunity to say goodbye to a loved one.
Se chung khar mi dam lau sia chun te an thla ta lau in liam ta jong ka chu kan du ve lau te ka sem.
On the other hand, we don't really have any documentation that verifies what's going on with his mother.
Khat lain khen nan nu khe dam lau adam luk lau tok azwal tok te khin pia nak ti te ti cha jong chu kan ngai lau kan hu khau lau phone ti ka khan.
And I don't know that so does the jail do, and Mr. Probst, you may not know the answer to this question. I know they do work release, right? Can
Yes,
they do a similar release for him to like take her to a medical appointment?
that's
Or,
much more difficult, Your Honor, to do release on, because in order to do work release, you have to have a specific order from the judge saying this is their schedule, this is when there's going to be, because, I mean, doctor's appointments could be,
Right.
okay, we got to be there tomorrow. We'd
Right.
never get that accomplished.
Se makan si ni pa hal mi si rian tuan ko pun chu tha foi do mo rian tuan ka chu ni fatin te na ji zet in na zet tem ti khin atan man mi umi tu na no si khan de pi ale zai te khan ba do na vas ve du si chun ma kha chu chim a har do iti ka khan mo.
The other issue, Your Honor, that I just realized I did not disclose is his mother is actually in Springfield, Missouri.
Chun pa khat te ka chim phil mi chu anu kha hi ka khwa si lo in Missouri Springfield khwa khan mi si te ka se.
I am 100% not comfortable allowing him to leave the state.
Sia chun a si ka za khan state danga bat long ding le ba fit kal ding ka chu ba ka chu kalung tin kho lau te.
Okay, with that in mind, then, Your Honor, then our other request for the court would be to give him to remain within a 180-day underlying sentence, extend his probation, give him some shock time for not showing up to court, to the jail sober. So a 30-day shock time, let him get out in 2 weeks and put him back on a 12-month probation.
Sia chun dang ka chu ma kha zuritin narak rak mi khati ma kong se chun atu som thum tiang khitlak se lo zar ni chung khitu atu zar ni chang kau e atang lai ni zar ni se lo ma hnuak khan thla in khin probation kum khat chung ke thalai ni chung ke alhan ma to khin zau khin than dinga khan ta khan te zai tin da nan lung tin khomo te khan si ni hak na hal piak ni se.
Because I just don't want, speaking from recent experience, somebody to not have the opportunity to be with their mother or parent at close to the time of their passing. And I wouldn't want that to happen to Mr. Hu.
Ruang chu kai ma jong kha tu chung ma bang to khe kam hu che mi se ho pau khe kan in chung kha lai dam lau sia chun te anun liam tak ding anai sia chun ho pau khe in chung kha kim te in kling te in kha chu tha kau e chu ka sahar ve ka lai nat ve cha khan atang atu zar ni khi ri se lo zar ni no kan tha se lo chun kum khat chung khe chau khin than se lo chu tak tamang tok te si khau mu te kan hal pia se te.
Kanu ka kan set am ban kan tlong kho ko like sa zelo ye Springfield bakal law kan kan
Actually,
set am ban kan tlong kho ding ko la.
if possible, I think my mom could actually even come and see me too, if in the worst case scenario.
Okay,
Or- Go ahead.
how does she do that if she's ill?
At siya Adam law to as well to mati phone in nang ma siat long din sa tinato lai.
Kaca motor naman rapi lah je.
I guess if friends and family will transport her. I mean, just
Before I ask Ms. Hutton's position, I want to make sure that I understand what you have said, Mr. Probst.
yeah, naka kalay ni ka help me mo na ni pa chin mi ka tin sinati kan se. Ngai ri ka.
So your newer request would be to do a total of 30 consecutive days, which would mean an out date of March 18th.
Se cho pro help me ka cho na ni pa ni ken na help me mo nang ma cha sa har cha kan na cho avoiding a kan tlakat ling lo dinga se chun March ni hai riat ni ke na tlakat ling na ding se ma no kan cho ter lai mo.
Leaving and underlying the remainder of that original 180-day sentence underlying.
Chen atang lai mi ni zal som riat ni som kwa tang ding mi ka cho ding mi ka cho.
And starting the probation from March, starting the time on the probation again, March 18th, when he would get out of custody.
Chon March ni hai riat tian ke atu he thadi tang imo mai thla ni lai riat ni tian ke na ko lai zar thum from ke zar ni let ni thlom ke na lai March ni lai riat ni na chu an chu ter lai e ma nuwa khan ma ni baka khan probation te mi te zudin than lau ding le ma bang to nol bol lau ding kha kum khat chung an zau khen mi probation te mi kha an pe than te lai te kum khat chung ke mo zau khen nak ke.
That accurate?
Sima te na si ni hal mi se.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Oh, si ma ka kan help ya do mi se te.
Ms. Hutton, what is the city's position now that I've restated Mr. Probst's position?
Miss Hutton, city lai inte lai tin nan ro ti ma ka lung tin ko si mo te.
Yes, Your Honor. May I ask Ms. Hanson a question?
Could you do the chat? And then that way you can get your answer and don't chat to everyone, just chat to her. That way, if I shouldn't hear it, I don't hear it.
Miss Hanson ka hal ta lai bia ka hal ta lai ti sia chen private tin te chat in ken rak hal ko lo te kan the hal lo sin kan hal lo ding kan te.
Ms. Hanson, I did send you a chat. Okay. Your Honor, the city doesn't have an objection to 30-day shock time and then starting probation essentially over at the end of that 30 days.
Sia chun city lai in ken chun lung tling lo nak cho kan ngai lo kan lung atling kau chu atu na chia mi zar ni le atang lai mi ni lai riat khi mo March ni lai riat ti kan lai e an chu ter lai chun na chu ni in kin probation kha I pe chi din tis ko mo.
Atu the chun tlan ji za me che.
The defendants are asking today is what day is today?
Oh, today is February 28th.
Tunika February thla thadi ni si February ni koleriat ni si.
Maitha ni za tiang kha komlais di sa.
If I have to continue serving time next month, which is coming up March, you say 18, right?
So if everyone agrees, then yes, you would get out March 18th of this year.
Ase kan di lakin kan lung atling siya chun ma kha na sini pani hal tiak mi kha March ni lai riat ni mo atu hi thadi ni si ka uthizing kha March ni khat ni si chang e March ni lai riat ni kan an thla lai ti an chuatar lai.
Your Honor, I would just like to remind Mr. Hu that once his probation is reinstated, if that does in fact occur, that he would have to be abstinent from drugs and alcohol starting over again for, I believe it's a year. I apologize, ma'am. Yes, okay.
Si kan pakhaten chin mi chu Mr. Hu nang ma kha tu ma an thla mai thla ni lai riat ni kan an thla siya chun ma ni in kin kum khat chung ki zu le adang rit kho mi thil ki tong ding tham lau ding ke mo kum khat chung ke ral ding a how to nak se.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure, Mr. Hu, that you understand some things before we proceed, okay?
De chu ma kha lung tim na attribute hana khan na thai thiam ding a mo kan chim du phone te.
I know Mr. Probst mentioned that he talked to you about this, but do you understand that you do have the right to a hearing on this motion regarding the allegation of appearing at jail intoxicated?
Se kau chu na si mi pa jong khan chim chia bang in ken at thong in tlak ding a khan nang mal nang ma kha thong ina khan na vakal ni a khan zu na rit zu din in ra te bi khite ma kha nang ma ni khin o ka silau ka din lau ma ni a khan ti khan te a zunga khan phisin ding na du a chun nol na ngai na phisin kho si te khise ma kha na thai thiam ka ma te. Understood.
Okay, and is it your understanding that you would stay in custody until March 18th of 2025?
Sia chun na thai thiam ka te chu March ni lai riat ni tu kum March ni lai riat yang ke na lai e lung ina thong ina kan mo. Yes.
And do you understand that the remainder of the 180-day sentence would be underlying or suspended?
Chun atang lai mi ni za le som riat thong tlak ding mi ka chu tlak ti lo in lenga kan na lai te nak se mo an zop khin lai te nak se te leng in khin mo. Yes.
And that you would have to comply with all the terms of the probation, and the probation would restart March 18th when you are released.
Chun anatlak ni March ni lai riat ni in from tokin probation and mi zau khen nak ke mo zu din than lau non the bol mo bol than lau tin mi ke zau khen nak kum khat chung ke a from token an a pe than te lai nak se mo March ni lai riat ni in kin. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is that what you are wanting to do?
Ta khan to ding se lo na hom mi te se mo na long ting ve mo.
Long ting ka.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will have you released on March 18th.
Ma cha khan chu March ni lai riat ni khan an chu tar lai mo thong in kin.
And then you will need to appear in person March 27th at 10 a.m. to check in with probation.
March ni lai riat na chu lai e chun March ni kulasarin ni jing lai nazi parha khan hika tai nang ma zau khen tu probation officer ton dinga khan hika office la ya khan ra kir thana haw lai mo appointment pek chi kha.
If you fail to appear for that check-in,
Ma ni khan narak ra lau narak pan lau sia chun
the city could file another motion to revoke.
chun hika lai nang ma chai tu city la in khin khwa la in khin itlay tanding akan mo tuan cho ko mise.
Nisay sa natin.
What day was that?
March 27th at 10 a.m.
Cha jong pek than te ko la loi hana kan Mars Niculesari ni jinglay nazi parha kan se.
Saan ka piaklaw kung saan ka pilsul alam mo. Hikaan magratan ha.
Yes, ma'am. Is it possible to request that as a letter when I was released?
Yes, they will give you a paper showing that March 27th at 10 a.m. date.
Si amhun le achan jong kha na loi ni kan an chan an pek ko lai mo.
Now, I can tell you this, you're probably not gonna get another chance like this. So please do not waste it.
Si atubang tokhe chan thapi in kan pek yak mo nanu dam lau cha te khen rong na pek rong kan ta khan ton de in kan tha mi si e atu lau te bang tokhe na pal than si chun tu bang tok khun I khe ngai dam nak he kan pek ti lai lau ti ka se. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Dang te haldo ngai mo si ate.
Adang hal du mi chak kanay law skona kan chabel te ka chung len ha chim na law ka chung len an thai law la ka khru har ngai la la ka phone number ka tel mi te che.
No other, but other than trying to get that contact from my belongings so that I can let my family know what's going on with me.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna have you get Mr. Doyle's attention, please.
Mr. Dual kapek ko lang nanachat ka nakam kapek ko lang.
Is that for me, Judge?
Yes. So it is my understanding that you were kind of able to talk with the interpreter and with Mr. Probst about a phone number that he needs out of his property.
Well, on that matter, we double checked in Blue Horse. His family has been in touch up here several times.
Okay.
And we do have a name and a phone number. There is no relationship listed in Blue Horse. So I presume that's probably correct.
Okay, let's see if we can confirm if
Okay.
that is the person and the phone number
Sure.
that he needs.
So, Mr. Interpreter, Daniel, I see you. Write this name down, and then I'm going to hand the headphones back to Mr. Hugh. And would you confirm that for me, please?
Yes, sure.
All right. The name I have is Lal, L-A-L, comma, Chung, C-H-U-N-G. Sorry, I don't know if that's first and last.
Okay.
The phone number is 913-280-0417. 913-280-0417.
All right.
All right,
Thank you,
back to
Mr.
Mr.
Doyle.
Hugh. Yep.
Ase Makha. Sorry, Your Honor, you want me to go and tell him that or?
Yeah, if you could just ask him if that's the phone number he's looking for.
Si Makha na phone number na call mi ke hika lai kan ngai kawati e an siapa phones kalama lal chung ka 913-280-0417 ka.
How phone number ah?
Makanan siapa phone si mo lal chung ate lal LALCHUNG ate.
Lal chung. Thai law lal chung ti che.
I do not remember the top of my head that number.
Phone number ka ching chi available la.
Yeah, I don't remember top of my head. Sorry.
That's the only phone number they say they have.
Ti maka na thong in chazina kan ma phone number khatlong kan ngai ti nang ma le he pe tai nak mo.
Ka che ko hoi pas la.
That's probably my friends.
Okay.
Pas.
Okay. I think that the jail. Could you give the headphones back to Mr. Doyle one more time, please?
Ma pa kha na chat pek than ka ma na tuan pa kha.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we, I mean, he thinks that's his friend. Are we good to go? Or do you still need to do the breakout room?
Wait, is the phone number correct?
He just said he couldn't remember off the top of his head if that was you know, he recognized the name as the name of his friend, but the
Okay.
phone number, he
Okay.
couldn't remember. Honestly, I know
I,
phone numbers now. It's really sad.
yes, I
used to
understood.
know Tons of phone
Knowing,
numbers.
I'm presuming this came in from his family. It was not there when he was booked in.
Okay,
But if you wish me to make that happen and get to his phone, put that in the order. And if
Okay.
not, I will write
will-
this on a piece of paper and I will give that to him today.
okay, okay,
So whichever way we go, I'll handle it that way.
okay. We'll just have you write that number down.
Okay, I will do that. All right. Is all of your business done?
Yes.
Our
yes.
classification person is here. Would
Okay.
you bring the
Absolutely.
interpreter up to date?
Absolutely. So, Daniel, if you could just give us a couple of more minutes, they have a question they need to ask outside my presence. If you could pop back over to the breakout room so they can ask that, and then
Correct.
you'll be good to go.
All right.
Yep. That's where we're heading. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Probst, you can feel free to pop over there if you want to too. Otherwise,
I'll join just to make sure my client doesn't have any other questions.
okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize for the interruption earlier.
That's okay. I assumed you didn't realize you weren't muted. It
No,
happens to all of us. Or the reverse, we don't realize we're muted and we're trying to actually communicate to everyone.
right.
Your Honor, he is still continuing to comply with the original order of his probation. Is that correct?
I am so sorry. I did not hear the beginning of your question, Ms. Hanson.
I'm doing this probation revocation journal entry. And did I hear that he is to continue to comply with the original order of his probation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then the 1 year, it's gonna restart.
On 3/18 of 2026 or 3/27 when he's to report?
Well, it can't start until at least 3/18, but it'll be more like 3/27 when he actually shows up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, just so you're aware, Mr. Weaver and I are switching, so he'll be joining shortly.
Thank you for letting me know. I would have freaked out a little bit if you disconnected and I had no explanation.
Understood. He should be coming post haste, ma'am.
Judge, I think we're done. Is Daniel free to go?
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniel.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day all. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Correct. We are all done with Mr. Hugh.
Yes.
Okay, very good. He's done. And,
Mr. Weaver,
Barry.
just so you know, we've only made it
Barry.
through one person so far.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So everybody knows I was joking about the working hard comment earlier, please. Sometimes my sense of wit does not come across. So
Oh, I thought it was funny.
go out there. That's all that matters. You play to an audience of one.
Are we seeing Mr. Barry now? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple of seconds,
Okay.
and he will be here.
Okay.
And
Hannah,
then
we appreciate your continued patience. Come in.
Okay, Your Honor.
just for mental notes, Judge, what is Mr. Hughes' determination?
He will be in custody until March 18th.
Okay.
Be released at that time.
Okay. Still under that same sentenced overarching
Yes.
scenario.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We'll take care of it when it gets here.
And if I'm looking at this correctly, Mr. Probst, Mr. Barry, your client, has a
So-
hold out of Sumner County.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
She'll explain. Pardon me, Judge. The nap time appears to be over here, but Mr. Barry is ready to go.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Barry. I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
It looks like right now you're being held on a $1,250 cash bond. If you are convicted of the charges, there is the possibility of jail time, so you have been appointed an attorney. We're going to give you a chance to have a conversation with your attorney. If you would leave the headphones on, but tell the person that gave you the headphones that you need to go to the breakout room so you can talk to Mr. Probst, your attorney, okay?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, I don't know why I'm.
Oh, the charges are allegations of domestic battery and criminal damage. They were alleged to have occurred November 12th of 2024 in the area of 3115 North 84th Terrace. And you'll be able to have a discussion with your attorney about that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
To the breakout room?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk directly to the
So Judge, on that Mr. Hugh,
Yes.
I'm just putting him in probation, right? For the probation of 3, and then he has to check in on 327.
Yes, that's what you'll put on IMDb.
That's what I'll put in the
Plus.
system. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah.
Not fair.
Mr. Probst, have you had an opportunity to speak to your client?
I have, Your Honor. At this point, the city has offered a diversion in this case. My client is declining to accept that offer today. My client would like to set his case for trial. But in the meantime, my client would like to be heard on bond as well.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Mr. Weaver, well, I'll let Mr. Probst, let me see. I'm trying to figure out when we
Is he
have,
being held on this one at all, Your Honor?
yeah, it's a $1,250 cash bond, because it looks like he's bench warranted couple times, and so I think that's why that's what the amount was.
Okay.
Go
I
ahead,
think
sir.
maybe a couple of the issues with respect to that was just where he was. He is telling me that he knows that he's got the holdout of Sumner County, I think.
yes.
He believes that he's going to be able to bond out on that one as well. He's asking the court for an OR bond here today that he will appear in court on a status or on a trial setting. At this point, Judge, he's a full-time student. He's also works full-time. He is missing school and he's afraid that, he's going to fail out of school because he's already had 5 unexcused absences. And then he's also afraid he's going to lose his job. So if the court is willing to grant an OR bond, he is asking for that today.
Mr. Weaver, what's the city's position on that?
You remind me the name of this defendant, Your Honor?
Yes, Brandon Berry.
I mean, Your Honor, I haven't missed court in over 3 years. I've been doing everything I was supposed to do. I've not even been in trouble in 3 years. I just got released for good behavior. Like I have not been getting in trouble at all.
Your Honor, were the 3 missing appearances, the bonds, were they on this case?
Well, let's see. It looks like these were issued November 12th of 2024. The first court date was December 11th of 2024. And let me see what happened on that date.
You're right.
All I see is one FTA. I don't
Right.
see.
Right. I'm
Mr. Berry, as your attorney, I'm going to suggest that you just keep quiet and let them figure it out. And then if there's something that you would like me to discuss with the court and with the prosecutor, then we should discuss that in private, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so it looks like it was set for December 11th and he failed to appear on that date. And Mr. Weaver, it looks like you're right. It's been in warrant since that initial court date.
All right.
It's
And-
just people wrote multiple notes about it.
Yep. Okay, so then he only has one bench warrant. He had one failure to appear. I mean, the city has no problem as long as. Let me double check. Just one last thing. Where are we with this? Can you give me 1 minute, Your Honor? The city
Yes.
might be willing to, dismiss the bond.
Okay, give me. Let's wait for him to come back, because if he, that might be very helpful to you, Mr. Berry.
Yes, ma'am. Small pieces, big puzzle.
Yes.
No, I just double checked. This domestic case doesn't seem to be high severity, so the only reservation the city would have is them coming in contact and hurting the victim again. But let's see. Do you still share? Well, I guess Probst.
Yeah.
I'll I'll address that, Your
Sure.
Honor. My client tells me that he is still in a relationship with this individual. And we would be asking for a no violence contact order because they still live together.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. Mr. Ferry, I will grant you an OR bond. It is going to be what's considered an OR bond with a special condition. And that condition's going to be that you have no violent contact with the complaining witness, Natalie Hamilton, in these cases, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Probst, are you wanting me to go ahead and do a trial setting, or do you want me to do more of a status so that he can come in?
The latter, Your Honor. Let's just set it for a status so that we can talk to him.
Okay.
And then and
Okay.
maybe at that time, if we can have a little bit more communication about everything. We do have the reports and I reviewed them briefly, but it would probably behoove us to have a face-to-face contact.
Right. And Mr. Barry, you said you're pretty confident you're going to be able to resolve that Sumner County issue. I mean,
Yes.
as far as not being sent there.
Yeah, it's only a driving on suspended, ma'am, from last
Okay.
May.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what
Traffic.
I'll do is we will continue this. Oh, shoot. Why is my calendar not popping up? We'll put this on March 13th. You'll need to appear in person at City Hall at 1 p.m. You'll get to touch base with your attorney and then we can go from there, okay?
Yes.
So March
Thank you.
13th at 1 p.m.
Yes,
We'll
ma'am.
send the notification over to the jail when we're done talking to everyone regarding the OR. Now, because of that Sumner County, obviously you might not get out today, but that's gonna be between you and Sumner County,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Have a good
Ble-
day.
You have a blessed day too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, when were we continued on that one?
March
to
13th
you.
at 1 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Right,
Oh.
that's a Thursday? Yeah, it is.
All done there, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, next new pod. This will be our Spanish interpreter. I'll be back soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this will be Claudia Grajeda. And I'm guessing it will take him a little bit of time to get down to the pod that the women are kept in, so we probably have a couple of minutes.
Hudson, I'm not seeing a plea offer from Ashley on this one unless she sent it separately. Do you want to look and see if there's a plea offer available? Or is this a revocation, Your Honor?
I don't think it's a revocation. Let me double check. No, and so what I did is I looked at the disposition tab, and what it says under the disposition tab is that there is an active attorney rec. So it looks like one was done. I don't know if maybe it didn't get sent to you.
Let me
hoping
look to
Mr.
see if it's in
Weaver-
our ADC file. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I should have had that information ahead of time. Grejeda. No, GRA. Claudia. There is one here. Thank you. Excelente, gracias. ¿Y tú? Judge, I'll be right back.
Judge, pardon me for interrupting. And after all that, Ms. Grajeda is an English speaker.
Oh, my goodness.
Exactly. And she is here ready to go. Thanks,
Okay,
interpreter.
well, okay,
Alright.
just give her the headphones.
Yes, ma'am.
Hannah, just stay for a minute just to make sure.
Your Honor,
Hello?
can
Hello?
I say something, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
I also had a Robles last
Oh,
name.
they brought him in person
Okay.
to court, Okay. Miss Grajeda, I just want to make sure, you do not want the Spanish language interpreter, is that correct?
No, I don't. I'm fluent in English.
Okay, okay. Hannah, thank you. Obviously,
Right.
you're still,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank
It's
you.
okay.
Okay, have a good day. Okay, Ms. Grajeda, it looks like right now, you would have to post $1,000 cash bond to be released from jail. And it looks like if you are convicted of the charge against you, the city would be seeking jail time. And I'm so sorry. I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. I apologize. I forgot to introduce myself. This has been a weird afternoon for us.
Okay, I understand.
You have been appointed an attorney. Mr. Probst, do you want to speak to your client first or be heard on bond first?
Judge, if we could speak in private, that'd be great.
Yes, so if you'd leave the headphones on, but tell the person that gave you the headphones that you need to go to the breakout room, you and your attorney can have a conversation.
Okay. I
Thank
need to go
you.
to the breakout room.
Leave those on.
No.
We'll put you in with your public defender.
Okay.
Leave those.
Mr. Probst?
Your Honor, Miss Grajeda has told me that she actually has an attorney. She had hired him, paid him money to show up on the January 29th court date. And, but apparently he didn't show up because of a miscommunication between his office and some other issue that was going on. She says that she would never have not intentionally showed up to court. She's asking for an OR bond so that she can get out and go work this case with the attorney that she's hired.
Just so everyone knows, I did double check to see if there is an entry of appearance from another attorney. I do not see one. Mr. Weaver, what is the city's position on bond?
This is Grajeda, right? Grajeda.
Yes.
Yeah. Double checking because none of the packets were left with me. Fortunately, I believe Miss Hutton took them with her. Does the defendant still reside with the victim?
Don't answer that. We'll have Mr. Probst
Yeah.
weigh in if he's able.
I don't know the answer to that. I didn't get
Okay.
too much into the weeds with this case because she's represented by counsel and I didn't want to have, I know she hasn't entered her appearance,
Oh.
but she says she paid a lawyer
Right.
to handle this case. And so I didn't want to get too much into it. But, ma'am, do you still live with the alleged victim in this case?
Alfredo? No,
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
Then the city would not object to OR bond as long as there's a similar stipulation of no violent contact.
Okay. So, Ms. Grajeda, I'm going to grant you an OR bond. It is what is called an OR bond with a special condition. And that special condition is that you are to have no violent contact with Alfredo, I believe it's Correa, Correa. I apologize for mispronouncing it. I understand that you state that you have your own attorney. However, at this point, because we do not have an entry of appearance form, I am unwilling to withdraw our appointed attorneys from your case. We will continue this to, give me one moment while I get a date. I'm looking at the calendar. We will continue this to March 6th at 8:30 a.m. If that other attorney intends on representing you, we need to get an entry of appearance done prior to that date. Otherwise, the appointed attorney will remain on your case. So we'll send over the release form after we're done the entire docket. So you'll get out today, but it could be a few hours before they get everything processed.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Pod door. All done there, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Sitlington next. The Spanish interpreter, that was on me. I relied on somebody else. So
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah, every now and then.
So Ms. Meyer, I just want to, if you would give me one moment, ma'am. Ms. Meyer, I want to make sure we're leaving ADC on Ms. Grajeda's case for now, okay?
I did.
Okay, fantastic.
Mhm.
And sorry about that, Ms. Sitlington.
You're fine.
I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. If I recall correctly, we had kind of continued this to, you had needed some time to figure out what was going on with your district court case.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna just have you talk to your attorney, and the two of you can kind of go from there. I didn't, Mr. Probst, all I did was see that there is a hearing on her district court case, March 21st. I don't remember what kind. I just wrote down the date. So if you want to leave your headphones on, and tell the person that gave you the headphones that you need to go to the breakout room to speak to your attorney. And
Okay, thank
she's
you.
not being held on our case, Mr. Probst.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Probst?
Yes, Your Honor. So I have visited with Ms. Sidlington, and her position remains the same. Her case is set for, it says PTC, so that it presumes that that's a pretrial conference.
Okay.
And her attorney is Christopher Scott. I've advised her to reach out to that attorney. I would not feel comfortable resolving this case until that case is done due to the possibility of increased damage to her criminal history. So at this point, Judge, we're asked that you set this past March 21st.
Mr. Weaver, does the city have any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me just take some notes. So we want to make sure we go past 321. So our options are, we could do 328, April 4th, or April 11th. Mr. Probst, you're muted.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, it's set for a pretrial conference. My history with that is they'll either, if it's not resolved on that day, and they do want to resolve it, they'll probably set a plea within a week after that, or they'll set it for trial. So I would suggest setting it for the 28th, just to see if they're done. And if not, then we'll set it out again.
Okay, sounds good. We will do that. And just as a reminder, if you do get out on the district court case, these are not holding you up, so you would be in fact released, okay? So
Okay.
if you have been released, make sure you appear in person at City Hall, March 28th at 1 p.m. Otherwise, we'll see you on video again March 28th, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Ms. Hunter.
Okay.
That's the judge. I don't know. I'm not part of the court system.
You're supposed to have a lawyer.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hunter. I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. It looks like you would have to post $1,000 cash bond to get out of jail. And if you are convicted of the charges, the city is seeking jail time. So we have appointed an attorney to your case. Mr. Probst, do you want to be heard on bond first, or do you want to speak to your client first?
Judge, I'd rather speak to my client first.
Okay, so Ms. Hunter, please leave the headphones on and tell the person that gave you the headphones that you need to go to the virtual breakout room. Thank you.
Hudson, what's your extension?
5073.
Thank you.
it just me or did Mr. Probst pop back? Like I swear I just saw him for a second. Okay.
Yeah, he was there. Now he popped back.
Okay,
There he
okay,
is. Now he's
Okay.
back,
okay,
but I don't have the gel back yet.
okay.
I had to go back in and try to remind her to tell Mr. Doyle to leave the breakout room.
Okay, thank you.
And they ignore me.
Okay.
The military was
Mr.
flying over.
Probst, have you had a chance to speak to your client?
Judge, I had a very difficult time communicating with my client at this point. I would like to ask for an OR bond at this point, but I am a little concerned about competency moving forward.
Okay. What is the city's position on bond?
Just like
There's a
damn,
competency
her nose
issue.
is poking out.
Would it be a smart idea to let them back into the case they were in? Let's see. Is this Esther, Your Honor?
No,
Or,
this is Carmen Hunter.
right.
My record's clean. I ain't worried about it. I don't care what you all do.
Ma'am, I'm going to suggest that you not
I
speak
work-
on the record, and anything that
Okay.
you say can be used against you.
All
because
right.
we're on the
'Cause I
record.
work with the
My
state.
suggestion would be
All
to
right, 'cause
keep
I
your
work
mouth
with
shut
this.
at this
All
point,
right,
okay?
that's fine. I work with the state, so I know my record's clean. Somebody set me up. Hmm.
What is the defendant's bond currently set at, Your Honor?
$1,000 cash.
All right. And is that due to the number of charges or failure to appears?
I believe it was the number of charges that are unresolved.
As far as I can tell, Your Honor, she's failed to appear on every charge. There's a serious question of whether or not the defendant would come back to court if given an OR bond.
Well, Mr. Probst, what will be different this time if she's given an OR bond?
Well, Your Honor, I don't know that there will be anything different. The biggest issue right now is I believe that there's a competency issue because she and I had an extremely difficult time communicating at this point, and I tried to help her have a clear understanding of what was happening, and she refused to really listen to anything that I had to say. And so the only other option that I would suggest is to bring her to court in person next Thursday or next Friday and see if we can't try to assist her while we're there to work on it. And if we can't, and having further communication with her, then I believe that there's a competency issue because she has to have the ability to assist in her defense, and it's not there.
So here's what I'm going to do. At this point, because of the repeated failures to appear, I'm unwilling to grant an OR bond. What I will do is I will reduce the bond to $500 cash bond. We will continue this to next Friday, March 7th at 1 p.m. If she's still in
God's
custody, we will have her transported in person.
That's God's day. So we're gonna have court on the 7th?
Yes,
We're gonna
you'll be transported if you haven't posted the $500 cash bond
So I'll have court on the 7th.
of March, yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
also, if you do post that cash bond, you're not to return to the following locations, all of which are in Kansas City, Kansas, 1843 Village West Parkway, 10824 Village West Parkway, 10900 Stadium Parkway. Thank
That
you.
is not true. That is not true. My record's clean. I work with the state, and that's how I know you all are lying. Good day.
Or until the deputy gets back. D3. Oh, usually the fun ones are the last ones, but not today. Moving up to Dennis Clark.
Thank you.
Pardon me, Judge, Mr. Clark is here. And Ms. Holton, if I could, I hand delivered that motion to revoke to Hamilton just now, and I will respond to your email.
Okay.
Here's
Um,
here's Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark, okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Clark. I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. It looks like, I want to make sure I'm looking at your cases. Okay, it does look like if you wanted to get out, you'd have to post a $1,500 cash bond. If you are found guilty of the charges against you, at least some of them, the city is seeking jail time, and we have appointed an attorney to your case. Mr. Probst, do you want to be heard on bond first, or do you want to speak to your client first?
Judge, I'll speak to my client. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Clark, you'll leave the headphones on, but tell the person who gave you the headphones that you need to go to the virtual breakout room.
I understand. This will put you with the public defender.
Judge Schultz,
Yes, ma'am.
he has a case set for March the 24th too. That's not set for today,
Did
so
that
it must be a
just
new
get-
case.
Oh, it just got filed today.
Yeah, so I
But,
didn't know if,
Mr. Weaver, I'm gonna guess because this didn't get filed until today that your offer doesn't include it. I don't know, I haven't looked at it, but could you see if your offer includes it?
Newest charge, let me double check one.
I mean, it literally shows that it was just entered today. So,
Yep. It shows that it's including it.
oh,
There's,
sweet,
as
that's
far as I
even
can
better.
tell, there's 7 visible charges. Let me just double check, I'm not missing it.
3, 4, 5, 6,
There's
7.
8.
No, there's an 8.
Okay, I can wrangle that one in.
Okay,
Oh, it's just the trespassing. That would
Yeah.
normally just be dismissed as part and parcel of this kind of deal, so
okay.
I'll add it in and
Just
make it
when
an A.
Mr. Probst gets back, will you let him know? Well, we'll let him know that there's that new charge, and then you can tell him what your proposal would be to do with that.
Gotcha,
Thank you.
no worries. It's infernal IMTS system.
Mr. Probst, just to let you know, it looks like, when Mr. Clark was taken into custody on February 21st, he was charged with a trespassing, and it was just filed in our court today. So the offer, as it is stated, does not include that. It's my understanding that Mr. Weaver has made some sort of a decision on it if the offer is accepted.
No,
Yeah,
I would just be dismissing it.
okay. I think that we would like you to leave the offer open that you've made. However, this is a DUI. We've not reviewed any evidence. We've not reviewed any discovery with him. We've not reviewed any videos. I think it would be imprudent for our office to accept a plea offer in this particular case without having the opportunity to go through all those rights with our client. So, Judge, we are asking for an OR bond at this time and ask that you set this to a new date that he can come to court and set up another appointment with our office.
Okay, Mr. Weaver, what is the city's position on bond?
As far as I can tell, there are only traffic concerns on the one trespass, and the trespass isn't a private residence as far as I can tell. So the city would not object to an OR bond at this time,
Okay,
but
So-
would, sorry, but
Go
with
ahead.
the stipulation that he not be driving while his license is suspended.
Yeah, I don't even have a car. That was like 3 years ago. I haven't had a car in 3 years. I ride the bus
Hey,
everywhere. So
Mr. Clark, if you don't have a car, then just don't drive. So
yeah, I don't
irrespective
even
of
drive.
that, just
Yes,
don't
sir.
drive. So you just.
Yes, sir. I don't drive nowhere. I ride the bus everywhere. The 104, the 101.
okay. So, Mr. Clark, I am willing to grant you an OR bond. It will have, some special conditions, though. The special conditions are that you are not to drive unless you're properly licensed and insured, and you are not to return to 2101 Metropolitan Avenue, Kansas City, Kansas, while these cases are going on. What we will do is we will continue this to March 7th at 8:30 a.m. for you to appear in person at City Hall. So you'll get out later today. It may be a few hours because we see everyone first, then we send over the paperwork and they process it. But you'll need to appear in person March 7th at City Hall at 8:30 a.m. And the paperwork they give you when they release you will show you that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too. Here you go.
The next and last two are all in the same pod. I'll just call them out when I get to them. Serrano and Hill is who it'll be.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Meyer, I'm putting a note to put ADC on the new case.
Okay, I did.
I figured you did, but that way it's noted.
Okay.
Pardon me, Judge, Mr. Serrano.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Serrano. I am Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. Just give me one moment to bring your case up. Okay, so I believe that this is one of those situations where you were kind of trying to figure out what was going on with your district court case.
Right.
We're gonna have you talk to your attorney, Mr. Probst. And again, Mr. Probst, I'm sorry, I only wrote down the date. I do see that his district court case is set for 4/4, but I did not write down the type of hearing. So if you just, did Mr. Probst have to step away? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yes, Judge, it's a sentence, it says sentencing on the jail docket.
Okay, so we'll let the two of you have a conversation and then we'll go from there. So if you
All
leave the
right.
headphones on, but tell the person that gave you the headphones you need to go to the breakout room, please.
You need to go to the breakout.
Understood. Put you with
Okay, Mr. Probst. Oh, Bowie. Oh, there we go. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Mr. Probst, have you had a chance to speak to your client?
I have, Your Honor. Mr. Serrano was set for sentencing on April 4th in Division 9. He is asking that this matter be set for trial prior to April 4th, if that's a possibility.
Okay.
We've already reviewed briefly the discovery. I don't believe that we're going to need to meet with him in person any more than on the morning of trial.
Okay.
I think that I think our office will be ready on a trial date on this matter.
Okay, give me one moment to grab the locator to figure out a day and time.
Which defendant is this, Ray?
Serrano.
Might have had this written down. 1 second.
This is a Friday morning, officer. So, I'm trying to see.
If you want to set it on March 28th.
Yep, we could do March 28th at 8:30 a.m. And that would be 4 weeks, which should give them enough time to subpoena. Okay, so Mr. Serrano, we will enter a not guilty plea for you. We will set this for a trial March 28th at 8:30 a.m. You will be transported to court that morning, okay?
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
And Mr. Hill.
Okay.
Was that Serrano? Was he a OR still or?
Yeah, I mean, he already had been OR'd.
Okay,
so
that's what I just
the
want to make
OR
sure.
Remains, sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Mr. Hill, good afternoon. I'm Judge Schultz with the Kansas City, Kansas Municipal Court. If you just give me one moment, I need to pull up your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it looks like you've already been granted an OR bond on the city cases. And it does look like if you are convicted that the city would be seeking jail time. It looks like you spoke to your attorney maybe in January. You were kind of trying to figure out what was going on with your district court case before you did something with this. So we're gonna just have you leave the headphones on, tell the person that gave you the headphones know that you need to go to the virtual breakout room so you can have another conversation with your attorney, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Probst, have you had a chance to speak to your client?
I have, Your Honor. Here's the thing, he has some significant charges pending across the street still. It looks like he's set for prelim on March 19th or 18th.
18.
And I think what would behoove my client is to see what happens with those cases before he does anything with these. I know that there's a motion to revoke probation on this case, but we'd like to just kind of push all of these off until after his Wyandotte County District Court cases are resolved.
Okay, Mr. Weaver, what's the city's position?
It would, given the charges, it's a pending domestic and a revocation pending on a previous domestic. The city doesn't have a lot of information on the previous domestic that's being put in revocation status. The IMDS is missing a lot of details. So long story short, city would not object to OR bond so that the defendant can.
But he already has an OR bond. The question is, do you object to it being continued till after at least March 18th, right, Mr. Probst?
Yes, Judge.
Okay,
No objection at all, Your Honor. I'd like to resolve this fairly instead of springing it upon them.
okay. Mr. Probst, we could do either March 21st, March 28th, or April 4th.
Your Honor, why don't we go just instead of March 21st, let's go March 28th.
Okay. So, Mr. Hill, if you are released on your county case, make sure you appear in person March 28th at 1 p.m. at City Hall. Otherwise, we'll see you on video again on that date, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And Ms. Meyer, the OR obviously remains.
Believe you're, I'm sorry.
But
All
not
done?
transport. Jed,
Correct.
No
We're not
transport.
transporting them on that day.
Okay.
Continuing it to
Okay.
that. Thank you for clarifying that.
We all done?
I believe so.
That's everybody for my list.
All
right,
right, thank
everybody.
you, everyone. Have a good
All right.
weekend.
Have a great
Oh,
weekend.
yeah.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Ray, we should
Hey.
run down and go see how the domestic case is going.
Okay, sounds good.